All right, so the first thing that I want you to notice in this video is that I have my polygon and I have the little arm tool already built, kind of like the original hexagon problem. So this one still moves the way I want it to, right? And this one changes with the polygon. And I've only made my little slider only goes from 3 to 5, so it's not very big. But I can see that it becomes a square and a pentagon. So it does what I need. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a shape using my circle. Now put it here in the center, about maybe that big. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to create the polygon in here, but it has to be based on this, my slider. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add an angle with given size, which goes from the edge over to the center. And in here, I'm going to replace this with a measurement of 360, which is like, sorry about that, 360, which is like one full circle. And I want that angle to always be divided by the slider, which is A. Okay. So if A is 3, this means 360 divided by 3, which is 120 degrees. So we'll test it. This doesn't matter, so I'll press OK. So notice that became 120. When A is 4, it's like saying 360 divided by 4. So 360 divided by 4 is 90. Here's my 90. And like I did in the previous video, I'm going to get rid of the angle. I don't want to see that in the center. I don't need it. All right. So that takes care of that. That's fine. The next thing is I want to make sure I make my polygon. That is this, my regular polygon. And I'm going to go from here to there. But the corners are going to be determined again by the slider, which in this case is A. So get rid of 4, put A instead. And now I have my triangle. And just like this one is a triangle, so is this. So let me test it out. I'm going to change it to a square. They both change to a square. Change it to a pentagon. They both change to a pentagon, which is fine, right? I can make this smaller, make it bigger. But now I have my central picture. Now here's the deal. I want this object to land here, and then I want to be able to rotate it all the way around. So look at what I'm about to do. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to translate by vector. And I got to select the object to translate and then the vector. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with this and I'm going to click and highlight that. And from this corner, I want to join it here. So look, I'm going to make my little vector from here, connect it all the way to this corner. All right. Now I don't want to see the actual arrow. That's called my vector. Here it is, vector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide that. All right, there we go. Then what I want to do is do the exact same thing with this piece. So I'm going to click and drag it like this so that everything is selected. And I can pick any corner I want. I'm going to pick this corner and it's going to go to this section right here. All right, so now it's there. I'm happy with that. But then again, I still don't want to see that vector. So I got to find that word. Here it is, vector. And I'll hide that. That hides the arrow. I mean, that's easy enough. We've done that in the separate video. But here's the switch. There we go. The switch is, right, this is going to move, and it moves like I want. This changes into a different shape. So now, okay, so I'm happy with that. But I want this arm and triangle piece to end up on the corner of the triangle. But then when I change this, I want it to end up in the corner of the square, or if I change it again, I want it to end up in the corner of the pentagon. All right. So we already seen the measurement before. So look at what I'm going to do. I want to go ahead, and what I want to do is I want to rotate around the point. So what does that do? Select the object to rotate, and then the center point. This is going to be the object. This is the center point. All right. So same as before, I'm going to click and drag so all of this is chosen like this. This here in the center, that's my center point. And I'm going to use a very similar, I guess, calculation as earlier. I want this to look at it as the whole circle, 360, and the angle should always be based on the value of the slider. So 360 divided by A. Same measurement as earlier. So I'll press OK. And now it's there. Now I'm going to do the same thing over and over again for each of my points. But what I really want to do is I want to check to see what happens when I change this to 4. There we go. Now it adjusted to that. How about 5? And it adjusted again. And so now I'm going to do this for every single corner. Now keep in mind that as your number gets bigger, you end up with more corners, more vertices. And so you want to kind of add the steps to those extra shapes as well. And honestly, I'm not sure what will happen as you change back and forth, whether they'll actually be ignored or whether they'll show up as just random points somewhere. But it would be interesting for you to see. Okay. So that is the video for today. And hope that made sense. All right. Bye.